Okay, it's nighttime. Here we are once again. Little weekend review for anyone who's interested. I'm going to post a little thing on Facebook, Instagram here. Let's see. Let me grab the link for this. Okie dokie. Almost there. Boom. That's not what I wanted, actually. Hold on. Oof. Okay, sorry. Technical difficulties / me basically not knowing how things work. My bad, my bad, my bad. Okay. Just trying to grab the link here. Okay, take two. Nighttime talk promotion on Instagram. That's fine if no one joins immediately here. I just thought, well, give me a second. I'll be right there. Week in review. Almost there. Almost there. Everyone who's waiting here in the future for the truth, which I will share, I guess. Okay. All right. Cool. So, yeah, I thought I'd get on here a little bit talk about weekend review. I'm getting dinner with some friends at 7:30 my time. So in a little bit here, it's 6:39 p.m. in Eastern Standard Time in our nation's capital of Washington D.C. / Alexandria, where I currently reside. So, weekend review. So today is Sunday, October 20th. It's been interesting, a great week, I'd say. Good week of training, kind of intense. Kept going. We had our first night. What's it called? Oh my gosh! First challenge of the. Why am I drawing a blank? Our first kill the night challenge, which was a great success, I think, at least in some ways, thinking about it. And I want to kind of talk about that a little bit too in a minute. Anyways, so we've got a cool week ahead, I think, as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Let me look at my. There's a couple things I wanted to bring up. Just some things I've been thinking about recently. Also related to the Kill the Night challenge, which I think would be cool to share. So, and kind of sponsored, prompted also in part by some conversations that I've had with some people who I would consider people from my gym who are supportive of me and adaptive CrossFit in general, and just some things I've been thinking about. So I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that. So basically about the role of adaptive CrossFit in the greater CrossFit sphere of influence in the world, right? I saw something recently where a guy was talking about himself. He was in a kind of a Instagram influencer, and he was talking about himself in terms of like his services that he provides. And he was saying, he doesn't see himself as an influencer. He doesn't see himself as someone who goes online and influences opinions and affects people's purchases in that direct way, right? He sees himself as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, someone who is trying to provide value ultimately, which is kind of how I read it, right? In a way, right? Um, Businessmen, they basically just want to create value for people and a service or a product which provides value and that people need, and they're fulfilling that need, and therefore they're able to make some money because someone is willing to pay some money to receive the good, right? When I was working in marketing, one of the cool things that I remember learning about was, and kind of in the early days, was thinking about how we don't sell. Um, when we think about writing copy or creating an advertisement, we don't sell or we don't sell features. We sell benefits, right? That's where people's heartstrings are attached to their needs. And so as an entrepreneurial perspective, like the more we are able to fulfill needs, in theory, the better that we're going to be able to. And it's not, I think that's just part of the equation, but it's an important part, right? Product, right? What's the product that we're selling? So when I'm entering and talking about CrossFit and adaptive worlds and adaptive CrossFit and things like that, I am trying to have that kind of entrepreneurship mentality, right? I think I mentioned this. If anyone watches this, remembers seeing my Instagram video when I was asking for help, donations for going to the CrossFit Games for the first time. Why? Well, because I think of this as a little bit. If I want to make this something that I continue doing, if this is CrossFit, competitive CrossFit is something that I care about continuing to do, I want to make sure that it's sustainable. I'm not dumping thousands of dollars in the trash every time I go to a competition, right? It has to make sense financially. For me, I don't have a family now, but I want to think in those terms, right? What would be the responsible thing for me to do as a man who's trying to provide, protect, given a good example to children and a family, right? Even though I technically don't have any of those right now, I think it's still relevant and I think it's important, right? So to consider. Anyways, so um, a couple weeks ago, I had a conversation with someone who was talking to me about and they're like, "Oh, so you're like an influencer now? You have your podcast and you have your Instagram posts and everything." And I told him like, if you hear me calling myself an influencer, you have to take me up back and end it. Like I refuse. There's part of me that still kind of cringes at that idea. Okay, oh, you're an influencer. Um, Sorry, let me try to fix the color on my camera here. It's like a little bit annoying me. Um, it's not going to do it. Hold on. Okay. It's a little better. The lighting situation for my camera changes uh, during the daytime and then during nighttime. So, hence this. Okay. So, anyway, so yeah, I had that comment that I made. Okay, if I call myself an influencer, please, like, you know, put an end to that, right? So, because I think I want to adopt that idea, the mentality of an entrepreneurial mindset, right? At the end of the day, I want to make sure that my work, my athleticism, and my feats of CrossFit are something that provide value to people and that are useful and that are something that, and one big important way that that something is useful for the world is whether people pay you to do it, right? And I'm not talking about like trying to make a bunch of money right now. I'm primarily a UX designer and I love my career and my company is great and the people I work with are awesome. So I'm not trying to quit and kind of pivot and become a full-time content creator slash influencer slash CrossFitter. I just want to make sure that this makes sense from a financial perspective. And if I was thinking about this and I had a profit and loss chart where I had the profits and then I had the losses and I had to make sure that everything kind of balanced out, this would not be like a complete train wreck, right? Uh, Important, I think. So anyways, so this kind of got me thinking. Um, um, well, there's a lot I could say about this stuff, right? But I wanted to actually look at something which I think has been very interesting, which has been my first time ever in my life participating in a viral online thing. And I'm talking about, of course, the post that Victor made for Kill the Night Challenge this week. So this post has sort of started to blow up. I mean, it has been blowing up, as Victor reminded me the other day. I think at this point it's over 100,000 likes. Is that right? Or is it 10,000 likes? Anyways, I'm just gonna bring it up right now, so we can look at it and kind of talk through this because I think this is an interesting way of thinking of trying to understand what um, what I mean here when we talk about adaptive CrossFit from this entrepreneurial lens, right? What is the value that we're giving the world? If we can consider what's going on with this viral post as providing value, I think that's important. I think if we can kind of try to understand what's going on here, if we can kind of mm, even bottle it up, kind of sell it, right? I mean, that would be a big step, I think, right? So, okay, present. Okay, so, um, okay, we've got my page here. So, let's go to that post. This is this guy. So, Kill the Night Challenge, weekly challenge with my friends, inviting y'all to join us and make this a thing. If you join, make sure to do this with one arm. Your dubs can be done with able body jump rope, but if it happens to be your mono rope, try that way. Cool. So we've got 13,883 likes on this thing. We've got I forget how many comments, but excuse me, I had to cough there. We've got a good number of comments here. And I want to go through the comments also because I think this is providing a little bit of an interesting way of a little slice. But let's go to look at oops. Let's go to look at the views. Where is it here? No, okay, sorry. Technology. Okay. Yeah, 251,000 views. So what can I say about this? Basically, if we were to kind of reverse engineer some of the things that I've noticed about CrossFit world, where people make money, and not just CrossFit, but I think one example is like track and field as well, right? Track and field athletes do not make a bunch of money because they are, um, you know, winning tons of events, enough events to kind of offset the costs or something, right? No, I mean, I think track and field athletes, if they're famous, if they're big on social media, if they have a big Instagram following, they're able to have partnerships, and the partnerships have some sort of kickback, some sort of lucrative, um, what's it called? There's a plus side for them, right? Um, and why? Well, because I think from an influencer marketing perspective, I think brands are interested in working with people that are going to be able to get eyeballs. At the end of the day, I think it matters about what matters is numbers. It matters a number. What matters is eyeballs. One thing that I have found super fascinating. Actually, I do not think I can show this, but on the screen. But I'm going to look at the post on my own phone. Instagram tracks how much time a particular video has been viewed. And I'm going to look at see how long when we talk about eyeballs, this is what we're kind of talking about, right? Um Gosh, sorry. So, however 200,000 people have viewed this thing, right? Um, and it says the average watch time for this reel is 10 seconds, which is pretty long compared to the total length of the reel. But there's also the watch time. The watch time for this reel that's gone kind of viral, which Victor posted, is 24 days, 16 hours, 49 minutes, and 13 seconds. So basically, a full day of people's lives, human life, have been spent watching this video of Victor jumping rope with one arm, with a monorope, and just crushing it, killing it. Awesome, badass dude. So incredible, incredible. I think that kind of blows my mind. When we talk about eyeballs, when we talk about brands that are like interested in working with people, I think it has like this is like kind of in my mind like something that I'm learning. This is something that's important, right? And I wish I could find that comment. I'm not going to be able to look at comments. That seems weird on desktop. Hmm. See, and then this thing's just been blowing up. So I've been getting kind of bombarded with notifications. Thanks, Victor. Thanks a lot. So, um, gosh, I have like a thing in my throat. I keep coughing. Hold on, sorry. Okay. So, um, how was I going to go with this? Okay. Anyways, I just wanted to kind of cover something which I thought was interesting. I received a comment on this that I responded to. It was a comment asking, how do I, there's someone, it was someone in Portuguese saying, hey, there's someone in my gym who has some sort of similar impairment or some disability, and and where can we find this rope, right? So RX Smart Gear makes this mono rope that Victor's using, which I use, and a lot of the guys in the upper 1 point division use, or 2.2 as well, I think. And so I went in the comments and I responded, okay, hey, um, rxsmartgear.com and search for mono rope. I went on the website today. I don't know if that actually works. I just assumed there's something funny. Seemed like there's something buggy with the website. But anyways, those retail are like $110 right now, I think. I mean, not that like Victor deserves a commission here necessarily, right? For like pushing this product out. But I mean, this is kind of what we talk about, I think, when we're talking about like the monetary value of CrossFit slash adaptive CrossFit slash what these, what people on social media are able to do with the platform, right? Okay. Anyways, so yeah, I've just been reflecting on all this stuff recently. I just kind of wanted to kind of go through that, right? I mean, I think this is a very concrete example of that happening in the adaptive CrossFit world. And I think it's awesome. And it's Victor, and it's associated with me as well in the Kill the Night Challenge, which is also extra cool, right? For me personally. So, um, so I've been thinking. So another thing that I've been thinking, and I think it was Amy Brame. I remember watching a video of her a few months ago, where she was talking about she was talking a lot about these similar things, which I am kind of shamelessly stealing slash totally understand and see those points that she was making. If we want CrossFit to give adaptive divisions more money, if we want more brands to be involved, if we want it to be a bigger thing, there's a certain sense that we have to kind of get eyeballs. At the end of the day, again, brands care about eyeballs. We have to get people to watch it. We have to get people to involved. We have to get people buying things because this is America and I don't work for free. I don't want to make other people work for free. And at the end of the day, like I said, people pay for things that have a value, right? That's not the only indicator of value, but it is one that it is important, right? So, what is the value, right, of adaptive CrossFit? This is very deep. This is nighttime talk. We can review very deep thoughts, right? So, um, what is the value? Move your camera. Hold on, I'm getting a comment to move my camera angle. Let me see. I'm gonna ask her how. How so? Question mark. Okay. Um. Sorry. Oh. Okay. I don't think anyone. Okay. So. Okay. So Amy Breen was talking about how she. I think she said something that I resonate with because I this idea of adaptive CrossFit as being kind of like inspiration porn. This idea that adaptive CrossFit is something that, or I mean, adaptive athletics in general, right? Okay, wait, hold on. Makes my head look big. All right, hey, getting some advice here. All right, let me see. Okay, it's a little too low. How about that? Okay. All right, all right. I'm taking your advice. I won't say who this is just in case they want to be anonymous. That looks a little weird. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Let me send a confirmation thing. See if this is better. Okay. Better? Question mark. Okay. So this idea of inspiration porn. It's kind of a jarring concept in a way to think about, but I think it's important and interesting because, yeah, a bit. Maybe if I sit back here, maybe further away and more eye level. Okay. Okay, fine. Let's see. Let's move this a little bit back. Okay. Anyways, okay. So this idea of inspiration porn, where kind of like I think one way of thinking about it is that our value is being reduced to what I think a lot of people in this comment section from this viral video have kind of mentioned, right? Which is like there's this kind of repeating theme of people saying stuff like, "What's your excuse?" Like my excuse doesn't matter anymore. Um, Which I think is an interesting idea. It's a little bit challenging. I don't know if completely agree with that. I think there's valid excuses for things. There's real, factual, practical, real limitations that people have. As much as I wish I can't raise my right arm above my head, right? Like that is a very normal, real, actual limitation that I have an excuse for. Like okay, okay? Watch out. Like. I can't make like I can't keep that from happening. Like it's a real excuse. It's a real issue. Um. So this but I think this kind of points that suggests in my mind that there's like a little bit of an inspiration porn value going on here, right? Like this video is resonating with people, which is good, but it's resonating with people in a way that um makes them feel inspired, whatever that means, right? And I think that's kind of my general thought about what inspiration means, it's confusing, right? On one level, inspiration might mean this sort of like negation of my real limitations or a negation of real problems, right? Oh, I can't do this. Oh, excuses. So there's sort of there's a little bit of this like toxic element of that idea of, okay, excuses don't matter. And I think it has to do with, I think it's kind of tied with this inspiration porn idea. Also, by the way, for anyone who watches this, I am sort of thinking aloud here at this point. Do not have I don't have the truth about all this stuff cornered right now. I am learning and growing as much. Um, and yeah. So, anyways, I just thought that it's just an interesting theme that keeps coming up, right? This idea that, oh, I don't have excuses now. Okay, I saw Victor, and at the end of the day, I don't think when I think about what I want people to feel or think when they see me. Say it was me doing those double unders, right? I don't want people to think, oh, like I have excuses and I make excuses for myself all the time and beat themselves up. I think, and like, oh, as if all you have to do is try harder, right? I don't care. I'm going to try super hard to raise my right arm above my head. I'm just not going to do it. It's not a function of trying hard. I, I, I don't necessarily think of trying hard as like the right answer for a lot of things. So, um, yeah, again, trying harder is not like the solution. I think some of the even more beautiful, worthwhile things are not difficult. I think there's like, is it like if I were a father and I were like to love my child, is it difficult to love the child? Like, I don't know. Anyways, that's kind of a little bit of a half-baked thought. So, um, okay, let me see my notes really quick. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't. The problem. So again, I'm I'm curious about what exactly Amy Breen was talking about when she meant inspiration porn. What does that mean to her, right? Um, it again, when I think about porn, I think about something that's like that word porn, right? I think about something that's total utilitarian, right? Um, or something that uh, total utilitarian, something totally. Sorry, trying to find the words here. That's all about like self gratification. Okay, so when we talk about something like watching someone with one arm do double unders, okay, and they feel inspired, um, I like, or they feel like, okay, I need to be hard on myself. I need to try harder. Excuses don't matter. Look at that person. Okay, yes. Does that accomplish a kind of encouragement? Yeah. But I think that's kind of like a negative type of encouragement. I think that's kind of a false, cheap, evil double version of encouragement. I think when I think of inspiration, when I think of inspiring someone, I think of encouraging them. I think that's a completely different value. I think that's a completely different type of thing than feel bad about yourself because you have a limitation, right? Like, ugh. No, I don't want people to feel that when they see me. And again, I think one thing that I've learned about my arm in my life has been people's reaction to your arm or disability or limitation or whatever you want to call it often says much more about them than about you or anything else in general, right? So granted, if someone has that kind of what I would consider somewhat of a toxic response to seeing someone with a disability or me or something like that, it's not on me necessarily, right? Because people have pasts, they have lots of things going on in their life, and it's impacting the reason that it's filtering the response. It's causing them to have a certain color glasses, right? When they look at you. So, I don't know. Let me see if I can. I'm just going to read a couple of these comments through here. Right. So, 183 comments. Okay, here's that person who I responded to. They said, "Hello, we have a box here in Brazil, and one of our students has a quote limitation like hers. I think his is the right. Sorry if I expressed it wrong. The fact is that until now, we can't find this kind of rope to buy. Can you help us?" And I said, "Smart RX Smart Gear, search monorope." And they said, "Muito obrigado." By the way, this was in Portuguese, and I translate it with the cool app feature. Um, it's incredible. Wow. Clapping, fire, heart, fire, arm. I never thought about that solution. That's great. Okay. Okay, that's interesting, right? Like, okay, this person feels like maybe this is a bit of a stretch, but their worldview is impacted by this kind of thing, right? They never thought that someone could have this kind of creativity, that there would be this product that was create and would be a creative solution for someone with a limitation or disability. Okay, that's interesting, right? Valuable for them, right? I don't know what this is. How do you do this adaptation to rope in PVC? I don't. For me, you are number one. Fire, fire, fire. Wow. Magnifique. Que crack. Respect for you. Unduro. What's this? Rapaz poderia colocar como mais exercício do CrossFit. Okay. That's Portuguese. Boy, could I put it on like another CrossFit workout. What? Okay. With two arms, I don't do double unders. Never again pop up in the box. Okay, I don't know what that means. What? Okay, sorry. I'm just now there's like Arabic comments, and it doesn't make sense. Compare yourself. This Arabic comment says compare yourself to double and see how you do it. Confused as to what that means. What this guy does with one arm, I don't do it with two. The guy is a beast. What this guy does with one arm, I don't do with two. This guy is a beast. Well, I mean, guys like me and Victor, like we have no choice, right? Like I have to like live life this way, you know? Like of course I do the things that everyone has to do with two arms. I just do them with one. But this guy is kind of I don't I just it's a little bit of like a self denigration here. Like, oh, he's like way cool. If he had two arms, he would be way better than me or something. I don't know, man. I don't love that. Eso se llama no excusas when you want. When you want, you can. Okay. Again, here's one of those. I guess I'll put these two comments like in that same similar vein of theme, right? Oh, if you want to, you can. I mean, no, I can't. I can't raise my arm above my head. Like, but I can adapt, I can grow, and I learn to handle the challenges that I have, right? I have learned to use a mono rope to do double unders. Okay, big deal. I mean, it is a big deal. Like, it's cool. It's awesome. And I hope that other people learn it. And I want to be encouraging to other people who can have that mentality of growth. I guess in a way, that's right. That's kind of like the core of it, right? When I think about inspiring people, when I think about encouraging people, which is the way I'd really rather talk about what it means to inspire someone, it really means to encourage them. I want to encourage them to have that mindset of growth. I want to encourage them to have that mindset that, okay, I have a challenge, I have a difficulty, and it is real. It is a real thing. It is not something I can just try hard and get through. No, it takes creativity, it takes luck, it takes grace, it takes lots of things to quote overcome it, right? to make the best of that situation. And this is not just about arms or disabilities in general. This is something that's applicable to everyone. This is something that everyone can learn from, I think. And so I think that's where the value of that's one of the important things for me as an adaptive athlete, to kind of be able to broadcast that kind of message, that information, and tell people the story that I have, right? To share. Okay, let's go. Let's go to another comment. Okay, again, word salad. I'm not going to read that. Heart, fire, clapping emojis. Congratulations, fire. Fire, fire, fire. Hearts, hearts, hearts. Top monstro muito máquina. Let's see, translate. Top monster, very machine. Cool, cool, cool. Yo, immediately. Fuck yeah. Okay. I think you did more than 150. Damn. So a lot of everyone, people are being very like positive and supportive of Victor, right? I think that's awesome. That's badass, right? So people are my respect and my admiration. Wow, maestro. No. Here's another one. No excuse. Inclusive. Okay, bravo, bravo. This is excellent. This is what excellence looks like in the definition. Okay, I like that. That's interesting. Yeah, this is what excellence looks like. I think that's one of the beauties of CrossFit, athletics in general. And how, like, I think there's one of the values that CrossFit does, that athletics in general provides, is it provides a showcase of excellence, right? People have worked extremely hard to achieve a level of excellence, of mastery, that is beautiful. That is something that is beautiful to watch, enjoyable. And yeah, does it inspire people? I think so. I think, does it help people? Does it encourage people? Yeah, I think so. That's in general one of the benefits of athletics in the world, I think, is it gives people an excuse to be uplifted, to be cheering on someone who's really trying to do something. I remember when I was when I was in high school, I had a drama teacher who was very excellent. He was an excellent drama teacher. And the first day of class, I remember him just doing a mime show. He would basically he stood in front of the class, and he started acting like a small child who wanted a cookie that was like on the table, but the table was too high. And he's like stretching as much as he can. And he's like, like on his tippy toes and like trying to get around the table. And he's like kind of doing this little improv show, right? And I don't remember exactly how he came about it, but he basically came out saying, well, the beauty of what I'm doing is that you care because you see how much I care and how much I want this thing. That's what drama is. That's what acting is. That's the beauty of what you guys do on the stage, right? And I think that's very similar to what happens with CrossFit, with athletics in general. People care when they see that you care. People want to engage in what's going on the screen when they see that it is engaging that person. So, yeah, how does this tie back to? Yeah, this is what excellence looks like. When they see that excellence, when they see the sacrifice and the diligence that's gone into becoming a master of whatever it is, right? And whether it's touchdown, Hail Mary throws, or whether it's something like um, amazing ring muscle ups, right? Like all that stuff matters. Okay. Where there is will, there's always a way. Okay, interesting, I guess, right? um, Killed it, man. Hearts clapping, clapping, clapping. Okay, another one I have to translate. And I spent my time complaining. Bravo. Okay, this is interesting. So, complaining. I like this. I like this comment. I like this. I think this is a positive value that this person is receiving from this video, right? Complaining is sort of like like is very negative. Sometimes I think people, you know, complain to have an experience of bonding with other people. And I think that's potentially useful and good. But I think there's also this kind of futile way of complaining that is also negative and sucks the energy out of the room, right? I mean, we all have kind of experiences, I think, in a way when we're with someone who complains, and there's like, okay, dude, like there's nothing I can do about it, like, okay, sorry, there's nothing, like it kind of brings everyone down, right? People instinctively don't like a complainer. I think that's part of it, right? And yeah, anyways. But so if this person is becoming less of a complainer because they see Victor not having, um, you know, not giving up, right? Not complaining himself, given the situation, and just finding a way and being creative and finding the tools and the resources and the products that are able to help him jump rope. Okay, that's great. That's beautiful, right? um, yeah. Okay, interesting. Okay, here's another one. Okay, this will be the last one because then I have to go. I have to go. I have lunch, or not lunch. I have dinner. I also have an amputation in my arm, lost 45%. I have only one hand. I do a little bit of everything, clapping hands, LOL hard. But but that's life. If the sea doesn't open, okay, not a problem. I'm not sure what that means. We'll try to solve it another way. Another way to solve it. The result is similar or better. The nature of Pachamama is amazing. What? The nature of Pachamama is amazing, magical, and enchanting. To live is to have the opportunity to experience. Okay, I just got to be thankful, infinity. Okay, this goes on. I'm intrigued now. I love going to the gym, train, run, ride a bike, make food, crafts, and because became physically disabled after crime of medical malpractice. Ooh, okay. Clapping hands. That's funny. Yeah, one thing I remember from the CrossFit Games recently that I thought was kind of hilarious was being around some of the other guys with like the upper 1 point who are amputees or have a disability like brachial plexus like I do. When we were like trying to clap for other people, it was like you'd see a lot of like this kind of thing, or like kind of slapping against your thigh or something. I can kind of clap. I can, you know, but maybe it looks a little weird sometimes, but whatever. Um, yeah, clapping LOL. Okay, cool. Bro, you're a machine. Lots of support from France for your journey. Cool. Well, I think I've got to get going here, but let me see if I can wrap up any last thoughts here. Um, I guess one way of thinking about what we're looking at with this video that went viral in the weekend review here is that clearly there's people that are getting some kind of value here, right? I guess the question in my mind is that value something that's sustainable, repeatable? How can we kind of tap into that to better serve our community? How can we tap into that better to serve CrossFit in general? And I think that's something that matters. I think we have to be able to kind of be willing to see ourselves within the context of CrossFit, try to see what is the way that we can provide value. How can we kind of help people kind of get into the gym more often, more members at the local affiliates, and et cetera, et cetera. At the end of the day, I think that's going to be important. That's going to be providing a lot of value to people. So again, I think personally, I have this sort of apprehension about inspiration porn. I have this apprehension and from one perspective, I have this apprehension. I think, yes, there's the theoretical problems that I have with it, like philosophically, but I think there's also the issues of it that are this might not be like a sustainable long-term solution to trying to be able to convince the world of the value of adaptive CrossFit, or to provide, I shouldn't say convince the value, but to provide the value, right? At the end of the day, that I fear that kind of inspiration porn is like a cheap substitute for the real thing of encouragement. And if the main thing that we're providing people in the CrossFit space or the space in the world in general is encouragement in that positive form, we have to be wary of that inspiration form. So I'd be interested in kind of understanding a little bit more about what Amy Bream talks about when she talks about that, what she means. I have like an intuitive sense of what what she means. Like it's sort of like one of those things, like when you see it, kind of thing. I guess they say that about regular porn as well. Like when you see it, kind of thing. Like it's kind of weird, but I think okay. But like let's break it down. Like let's try to really understand what that means. Cool. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining, for watching. This has been Nighttime Talk with Brian Knight. And good night, good luck, Godspeed.